B, public health services fees in the financial year 2022-2023 appears as a new revenue stream, while we had health revenue in previous years. Hospital fees seems to have recorded zero in the financial year 2022-2023. Introduction of administration control fees and charges while leaving out revenue streams such as enforcement management unit, weights and measures, motorcycle registration, social services and sports management unit, firefighting and ambulance management. Introduction of property rent while leaving out house rent, interest or penalties on stall rent and plot or stall rent. Madam Speaker, in addition, several revenue streams have been left out in the report by receiver of county revenue, showing inconsistencies in revenue collection and failure to follow the Finance Act of 2021, which has prescribed revenue streams and specific names for them. The revenue streams that have collected revenue in financial year 2021-2022 but are missing in the financial year 2022-2023 are A, slaughterhouse fees or livestock, which had recorded an increase of 46% in collections from 8.5 in 2020-2021 to 12.5 in 2021-2022. Liquor, which had recorded an increase of 44.5% in collections from 53.9 million in 2020-2021 to 61.6 million in 2021-2022. Sand gravel, which was at number 10 in the rank of revenue collection in 2021-2022 at 19.4, and we also know that the county has not stopped sand harvesting. Quarry extraction fees, which was at number 4 in the rank of revenue collection in financial year 2021-2022 at 146.8. Previously in 2020, this revenue stream had collected 230 million, and it is an important stream to be missed out. Tourism, water sales, Machakos noise pollution, and agri-farm have also been left out, and they are in Finance Act 2020 of 2021. Madam Speaker, the receiver of county revenue has merged a number of revenue streams that were reported individually in previous years, but some of the merged streams have reported zero collections. The revenue streams and merged streams are: 1, cess, consisting of farm produce, quarrying, livestock, sand, and fish farming. Fish farming did not record any revenue collection. Land or poll rates, consisting of land rates, land penalties and interest, arrears in land penalties and interest, and arrears did not collect any revenue. Single business permits, consisting of annual business permit fees, business permit application fees, business permit penalties or interest, and business permit arrears. Business permit arrears did not collect any revenue. And Madam Speaker, we live in this county. We know not every business pays its permits in time, which means there must have been arrears that were not collected. Number 4, property rent, consisting of county housing, stalls, kiosks, rent, plot rent, tenancy agreement, and transfer of property. Plot rent, tenancy agreement, and transfer of property did not collect any revenue. Parking fees, consisting of street parking, registration fees, bus park fees, monthly toll or sticker fees, motorbike fees, and reserved parking. Monthly toll or sticker fees, motorbike fees, reserved parking did not collect any revenue. Market fees, consisting of market entry fees and hawking fees. Hawking fees did not collect any revenue. Advertising, consisting of billboard advertising, signage, roadshows, banners, posters, tent advertising, street pole or clock advertising, signage, roadshows, banners, posters, tent advertising, and street pole or clock advertising did not collect any revenue. And Madam Speaker, on this, we would have expected as a committee this revenue stream to collect a lot of revenue, considering that we are just out of campaign period where posters were all over, especially our majority leader who had billboards and a lot of signages in town. Hospital fees, consisting of level 5 and 4 hospitals, did not collect any revenue. Public health service fees consisting of public health permit, inspection of buildings, inspection of issuance of hygiene licenses, vaccination of yellow fever and typhoid, application for medical examinations, sanitation, inspection for schools, and rodent control did not collect any revenue. All revenue streams did not collect, the ones that I've just read, did not collect any revenue except public health service fees. Madam Speaker, we are aware that all employees of bars and restaurants in this county are supposed to be paying hygiene, they're supposed to be vaccinated, and therefore it's a worry that this line did not collect any revenue, did not record any revenue collections. Madam Speaker, fiscal planning and development consisting of building plan approvals, enforcement or demolition, county planning documents, land evaluation and registration fees, signboards, occupation permits, architectural designs by county officers, and hoarding fees. Only building plan approvals and enforcement demolition recorded revenue collection. Hire of county assets consisting of conference facility at ATC, agricultural mechanization services, hire of machines and equipment, hire of county stadia, and hire of county halls. Only conference facility at ATC recorded revenues. As a committee, we are worried because our stadium has been used severally, and this revenue was not recorded. Conservancy administration consisting of refuse disposal fees, noise control, dump site fees, sewerage fees, sale of seedlings, public cemetery, and disposal of carcasses. Only refuse disposal fees and noise control recorded revenue collection. Administration control fees and charges consisting of fire services, liquor licenses, salary refunds, social services, betting levy, and weights and measures. Betting levy and measures did not record any revenue. Park fees consisting of filming and photography fees, lodge tariffs and levies, park entry fees, and camping fees. Only filming and photography fees recorded any form of revenue collection. Other fines, penalties, and forfeitures consisting of impounding fees, towing fees did not record any revenue. Miscellaneous receipts consisting of interests, dividends, and commissions did not record any revenue collection. We have an appendix, appendix 1. Appendix 1 provides a comparison between revenue collected as at 31st December 2022 of financial year 2022-2023 with similar period in the financial year 2021-2022. The report reveals that the revenue collection performance for the period under review was at 459.6 million, which was better than that of the same period in 2021-2022 at 336.1 million. However, there is a concern on the high number of revenue streams that have not recorded any revenue. For instance, in the 6 months to 31st December 2022, no revenue is recorded for SBP, yet that is single business permits, yet businesses are started on a daily basis. Other revenue streams that can be highlighted of concern include that did not record any revenue. This is a business permit penalties and interest, plot rent, monthly toll or sticker fees, road shows, banners, posters, and street pole or clock advertising, noting the high activities of politics, as I had earlier alluded to. E, level 4 hospitals and level 5 hospitals. F, application for medical examination. And G, land valuation and registration fees. Upon analyzing the report, we requested for clarification on issues raised from the Chief Officer, Revenue Management, via letters referenced that and dated 6th and 13th March 2023, respectively. And now, Madam Speaker, these are the responses of the Chief Officer, Department of Revenue Management. The Chief Officer, Revenue Management, responded to the committee's concerns via a letter dated 20th March 2023, and the responses were as follows. A, on underperformance of on-source revenue. On the reasons why on-source revenue underperformed in the first half of the financial year, only managing 27% of the half-year target, and the measures being undertaken to ensure the revenue target of 1.6 billion was met, the Chief Officer informed the committee the following. 1. The target for the first quarter was approximately 8.5 million, and this performance of on-source revenue was 27% shy of the target. 2, compared with the same period in the previous year, the performance of on-source revenue for the first half of 2022-2023 recorded an improvement from 339 to 459 million, representing an increase of 21% in 2021-2022 to 27% in the year under review, whose targeted revenue was 1.69 billion against a target of 1.68 billion in 2021-2022. The period under review was marred by tough economic conditions and political environment where the on-source revenue could have performed better across the board. B, on low targets for single business permits, asked to explain why the target of 270 million for single business permits in the year under review was lower than what we had in 2021-2022, which was 279 million, and what determined targets for a revenue stream. The Chief Officer responded as follows. 1, there was an oversight in setting SBP targets as observed from the previous financial years as observed. Going forward, the department will set targets based on the actual performance with an increment of 5%. C, on the status of revenue automation, business registration, and revenue mapping per ward. Madam Speaker, we asked the CEO on the status of revenue automation, and the response given was 1, that there was a full automation of revenue management system as outlined in the third generation county integrated development plan, which with an estimated review cost of 20 million and a possible further automation. 2, there is a planned mapping exercise for the county revenue streams in the financial year 2022-2023, as observed in the recent tender advertisement dated Wednesday, 8th March 2023 on the Nation newspaper. The mapping exercise will enable the county to have all data set pertaining to revenue streams inclusive of business registered in the whole county. Number 3, also captured in the third generation CIDP, were a mid and end term review of revenue mapping, which will enable the county to have all data pertaining to revenue streams and their full potential. D, Madam Speaker, we inquired on the merging of some revenue streams and inability to trace others. And the response from the Chief Officer was as follows. 1, there was a need to merge revenue streams to align them to the financial reporting template provided by the National Treasury. The merits for merging include ease of revenue collection, reporting, and timely submission of reports, since the county was aligned to the available template. And 3, the revenue streams that were merged were slaughterhouse fees, which was merged with market fees, tourism, which was merged with people's park fees, and water merged with water cells.
Point of
On
information.
delaying, yes?
Point of order.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Going with the spirit of the House, we understand that Mheshimiwa and taken us through the summary, and is reading word by word, and we are reading it for ourselves. So I was asking if he can summarize. Number two, Madam Speaker, is Mheshimiwa, is Honorable D well dressed? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Okay, on the issue of reading word by word, I think it's important matters of finance, we get them right. However, we request Honorable Member to summarize where necessary so that we can conclude. Honorable D. Kevuva, you are not properly dressed. You may go out and get dressed. Come back.
Madam, can I make an appeal before I go out? Because there is a lot of buried outside. So I have a shirt and tie.
Madam Speaker, point of order.
If somebody can confirm.
Madam Speaker.
I've made a ruling. Irene will.
And when a member is disorderly, is actually so, and he has no airtime here.
We have made a ruling on that. Get dressed and come back. Proceed, Honorable Paul.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And thank you, Honorable PK, for coming to my aid.
So you are also.
So, Madam Speaker, if you allow me, if this House allows me, then I'll just go to the committee observations and recommendations, Madam Speaker. And the committee observations were as follows. One, that the receiver of revenue performed poorly at 27% in our financial year, and that the poor performance and reasons given were not adequate. Two, the National Treasury has provided a guide on how revenue collected should be reported, and this necessitated renaming and merging of some revenue streams. However, the merging of revenue streams may give a loophole to underperformance of the revenue streams and non-collection of some streams if not well managed by properly training revenue collection officers. In addition, there is need to have consistency between naming of revenue streams and the finance bill. Number three, the 5% annual increment of the revenue stream targets was not realistic and was not informed by the prevailing economic conditions and was likely to be inconsistent with the budget at times. For instance, in the financial year 2022-2023, ONSOS revenue was set at 1.69 billion, whereas in 2023-2024, ONSOS revenue has been proposed as 2.05 billion, which represents an increment of 21.3%. Therefore, increasing each revenue stream by 5% will not realize the required revenue. Number four, the non-automation of revenue collection was contributing to big losses in revenue collection. In addition, the department had been claiming that revenue collection had been automated in Machakos and Mavoko sub-counties, but ONSOS revenue continued to decline in these sub-counties. Number five, that the department had not forwarded to the Assembly a new finance bill for approval. And finally, number six, the department has been using political interference as an excuse for not collecting revenue, which the committee will not accept going forward. So the committee recommendations, Madam Speaker, were as follows. One, that the department explores the possibility of having specific entry and exit points at quarries to ease revenue collection and monitoring instead of posting a revenue clerk in each and every gate of a quarry site. Number two, that the department provides the Assembly with scope of the intended full automation of revenue collection, and the expected amount of revenue to be collected, and make a deliberate effort to have automation of all revenue streams in the financial year 2023-2024. Number 3, ensure annual increment of revenue targets per stream are realistic and based on the prevailing economic conditions of the county, the country, and the world as a whole, and not a mere 5% blanket increase. Number 4, ensure the naming of revenue streams was consistent with the finance bill and officers were properly trained on the new trends of naming revenue streams. And lastly, ensure a request of extension to use the current Finance Act with justifications was forwarded to the Assembly for consideration. Thank you, Madam Speaker. And this report is signed on behalf of the committee by our chairman, our very able chairman, Honorable Francis Chalo Kitaka, on 24th April 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member, for those highlights. May I now invite members to proceed and debate this matter. Honorable Ndambuki, then Honorable Maike after that.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Dominic Ndambuki, representing Kathiani Central Ward. Honorable Speaker, I wish to thank the Committee on Finance and Revenue Collection for the insights on this report on receiver of revenue for the second quarter. Honorable Speaker, it is very clear from the report that as a government we have the potential to raise more revenue, only that we need to tighten our revenue streams, Honorable Speaker. And for us to realize this, Honorable Speaker, every party that is concerned with revenue collection within the county needs to be steadfast on their roles, Honorable Speaker. Then again, we also need to build their capacity to ensure that they are up to the task. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Maike.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this chance. I want to applaud what the Committee of Finance has done. They've given us a very good elaborative report, very informative. And I believe from their findings, despite the much time they took, it was worth the waiting. However, Madam Speaker, my attention has been drawn to a report that our level 4 hospitals and level 5 hospitals are not correcting any revenue. I don't understand whether they did, because you understand, Madam Speaker, most of our members have paid NHIF. Does it mean that NHIF has not been paying Machakos? Does it mean that we don't get money from the insurances? Does it mean that services in level 5 hospitals are free? And Madam Speaker, I want to tell you that services in Machakos level 5 hospital are not free, because we visit that hospital, we pay bills, and I believe unless I stand to be guided, also cards from our patients, NHIF, and from the previous report, we're being told that they used to get a lot of revenue. So I think that's a point that probably the concerned CEO, OCC, should shed a lot of light, and if possible, probably explain to us into details how comes we are paying money in our hospitals and it is not being recorded as a source of revenue. The other thing that I've seen, as the Honorable has spoken, we have a great potential of hitting even our targets, a great potential of collecting a lot of revenues. And my prayer is, if the concerned department can come up with tangible and practical ways. There's a proposal to dig tunnels in order to have one entry and one exit for the quarries and everything. But I must tell you that digging that tunnel or not digging the tunnel may not be the real thing, because we have exit and even we have a lot of barriers. For example, in Mulolongo, we have a lot of barriers that in each barrier the clerks are there, but you find, I don't know because of what, because of probably lack of integrity or because of lack of proper scrutiny, you are supposed to pay 3,000, probably somebody tells you to pay 1,000, you will be tempted to pay the 1,000 and fail to pay. So we need enforcement on the clerks, because even if we dig holes and we dig tunnels on those roads to catch the drivers, they will always have a way of colluding. And I believe there is a need, and urgent need, for a reshuffle. And because you find, if I find a new clerk and I find a new driver, it will be hard for them to collude. But if a clerk has stayed there for 10 years, or a county officer is in charge there for 10 years, for example, in Mulolongo, and having been a contractor, I know what it means. Because you'll find that the same county officers, especially the enforcement officers, who come to ensure that, one, you have the building permits. And you've seen, Madam Speaker, that this, one of the areas we are not doing well is about houses. Because a house, for example, if I'm to build a house, a big project, probably I may need to be paying, let's say, for example, 30,000 for approvals. But if I can go around and then I pay 10,000 and somebody gives me a protection for 4,000. So there is a need of policy change. And the first policy change probably that the finance need to do is, the officers on the ground have probably overstayed. And especially in Mavoko sub-county, you'll find an officer there, and as honorable member for the river calls them, you'll find there's a lot of cartels who are around there, and they protect people, they'll protect you. So there's a need for the CC to really do Adara shake up and probably other transfers to bring new, and probably that will see a great change. Otherwise, I support the motion. Thank you very much.
Honorable Mike, I would like to refer you to the page 15 of the report that addresses some of the concerns you have raised, but some have not been addressed. Insofar as the poor collection of, or the zero collection of revenue by the hospitals, the CEO has tried to respond to it, and as stated on paragraph 6, is it 6? 4, on page 15, that in the report of revenue collection level 4 and 5, hospitals had recorded nil collections, and the CECM informed the committees that there was a big problem in the health facilities when he got into office. The Department of Health, being the biggest budget consumer, could not even report collections, but the situation has been put under control. Currently, all collections and NHI health remittances are swiped to the county CRF account every Friday of the week, and that the facilities were collecting not less than Kenya shilling 1 million per day. So I take to see the explanation given for previously not collecting any revenue, but it's like they are trying to do the control. However, I agree with you that there is need for reshuffle and shake up of the cartels, and of course the enforcement should be stringent. Thank you. Honorable Leader of Majority, then Honorable PK.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Yes, indeed, my attention have been drawn to page 11 of the report, which the previous honorable member spoke of, and it's also about this nil reporting of revenue collected. Some of us are fortunate enough to be also doing some business. I'm drawn especially to the area of number 4, where they are saying that there is nil collection on transfer of properties. I just want not to think that in the half year of this report that there was no any transfer of property in the county. I can't imagine that. Every time.
Paragraph is that?
Sorry, on page 11, Madam Speaker,
Yes.
Roman 4,
Roman
when they report that property rent consisting of county housing,
Yes.
stalls, kiosk rent, plot rent, tenancy agreement, and transfer of property. Property rent, tenancy agreement, and transfer of property did not collect any revenue. That's unimaginable. Every day,
Sure.
if you go to Mulolongo, land for sale. If you go to Machakos, land for sale every other day. So I cannot imagine how if this is happening, then we are losing a lot of money. And I think the CEC finance should really focus there. There is also of issue of hawking. Hawkers did not collect every fee. Madam Speaker, I want to report to you that every day, almost every day, I'm rescuing my people from the law courts of Machakos. They have been arrested because they did not pay. So there are some who are paying, and that's why they are not arrested. So also hawking, they are the government is collecting money. Issue of land rates, that there was no reporting in arrears in land rate penalties, and arrears did not collect any revenue. This also I don't think, because we transact the issues every day, and ukienda transfer land or property, the first thing is you clear with your land rates and all the arrears. So I think there is either misrepresentation of facts or wrong reporting, and you can tell we need to improve on that. And Madam Speaker, since the Vice Chair of Finance quoted or misquoted, I don't want to, he may want to clarify. I also want to say on the issue of Roman 7, indeed we cannot have nil collection on advertisement. I also want to report to this House, business community in this town, they have been issued with invoices to pay signages and all of those things. And if they have been issued with invoices, it means even last year they have been issued and they have paid. So we would urge that my personal contribution is that let us dig deeper into this matter of nil revenue reporting. Some of this nil reporting, to me, leaves a lot of a lot to be desired, and I wish we could collectively urge that we get to the bottom of this matter. Thank you, Madam Speaker. And indeed, through Madam Speaker, Mheshimiwa Vice Chair Finance, the signages really helped. And that is why, partly, why I was elected. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. Honorable PK.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want first to appreciate work well done by this committee, and thank you for Vice Chair for ventilating and giving us these facts. However, Madam Speaker, page 14 on the response that the CECM Finance gave to the committee, there's a recommendation that is saying that the Department of Finance, they budget for a purchase of shovel and an excavator to make roads at quarry sites. Madam Speaker, I want to say that it should be prudent that this department liaise with our Department of Roads, and instead of purchasing the shovel and the excavator for temporary work, then they get those machines from the Department of Roads instead of buying, because we want to have money. Then the last one, Madam Speaker, is that everywhere, both the committee and the chief officer and the minister, they are talking of automation. Now, I want to understand, what is this automation? Or where are we coming from? With simple understanding that automation may mean that we employ technology and then reduce the human input. Now, because everything here is pegged on automation, it would be prudent that the department tells us we want to have automation, and this will be the model. Because if the automation they are saying, to me, the automation is even operating today. Because when you pay through a pay bill number, that's an automation. But I want to understand, what is this automation? Because this seems to be artificial person, or it seems to be a very big thing, which when we are going to have it, then we are going to achieve this target. I've seen, Madam Speaker, that everywhere, even next year, the response as to why we have not achieved our target will be the non-automated issues. Therefore, Madam Speaker, can the committee or whoever is responsible give us what is this automation? Where are we coming from? Are we using the old model that now we cannot achieve that which we intending to achieve? Therefore, Madam Speaker, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, honorable members. Honorable Kaviu, then Honorable Ndwiki.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to support what the speakers who have spoken ahead of me have alluded, because unless the report is misleading the House, almost on all revenue streams that have been indicated here, they are ending with the same statement that did not record any revenue. If you see from Roman 1 all the way, I don't understand whether it was what we call in Kiswahili uriri, that after every comment that it had to end with the word did not record any revenue, especially on issue of cess at our quarries. I don't understand how they did not record any revenue, and on daily basis we have people who are being paid by the county, and our quarries are very busy on daily basis. So maybe the presenter of the report can give some clarity to the House what did not record revenue, any revenue collection statement means, because seems to be some confusion. Because even as during the visits that we have made as committees to those areas, we normally go there, and the revenue collection sites are normally very busy. And also, maybe to add on the same, unless we tackle the issue of leakages in terms of cash collection, we will still have the same report in the next quarter, where there is no significant improvement. And Madam Speaker, what we want to see, if in terms of billboard and even transfer fees that were not collected during that period, we want a report showing if it's someone who has a billboard in Machakos that has not been paid for that period. We also need to get clarity on when are they going to pay, because every day on our way to Machakos, in Mulolongo, and any other part of this county, we have billboards being erected on daily basis. So if the finances are not coming to the county coffers, then who is collecting the cash on behalf of the county? Because even before you put up any signages or billboard, I believe they are normally paid upfront. So what we need to establish as an oversight organ of this county is, if the money is not coming to us, to whom it's going to. And even for the hospitals, money are normally paid at the hospital. We have an accountant at the hospital. So we want to understand the payment that were made during that period. Where did they go? And if it's somebody is found responsible, they need to be surcharged on the same, so that we can recover, because our people want service, and we cannot be singing the same song year in, year out. And that's maybe to give a clear indication. I think with the chair finance and some members, we were doing some calculation someday as we were discussing, and we saw just one of the businesses within our county who are in the quarry sector. They are only paying on a monthly basis a fee that is equivalent to what they are supposed to pay on a daily basis. So at the end of the month, it translated, the county is losing closely to 15 million that should be coming to the county, but they are only paying an equivalent of what they should be paying on a single day at the end of the day. And also there is no clarity, especially on sales collection. There is no clarity what model is being used, because the normal small scale consumers, for them they pay per trip. But now you find there is someone who is doing 100 or close to 150 trips, but at the end of that month, the amount they are paying doesn't tally with the number of trips that they are doing. And we could not understand what is happening. So that clarity is what we want. And if we are going to deliver services to our people, then we must roll our sleeves and assist the county to collect revenue. And I think the report that was given sometimes during the transition, the indicative was that Machakos has a potential to collect over 5 billion in a year, but we are still at 1 billion within a year. So we need to help the county as an oversight body to make sure that there is no shilling that is being lost. And if we focus clearly on the big revenue streams that we have as a county, then we will not need to go to the villages where I've seen people moving around and harassing the kiosk owners at the remote areas, asking them to pay 5,000 or to forcing them to have permits. Yet that person in a month, if they manage to make 1,000 profit, it will be a bigger success for them. So we need to focus on the big revenue drivers for the county and ensure that we are not losing money. Then at that point we can take advantage of that to cushion the small scale traders who are struggling to make ends meet on a day-to-day basis. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Ndwiki.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Daniel Ndwiki, representing the great people of Syokimau Mulolongo Ward. First and foremost, I want to thank the Finance Committee for coming with this report. But Madam Speaker, this report is very shocking. When I went through this report, Madam Speaker, I can say that there is something wrong, where maybe the report is not accurate, or there is something urgent that needs to be done. For example, Madam Speaker, as the many honorable members have contributed, we have revenue collection streams that we are aware that money was collected, revenue was collected. But when we read this report, we see that there is nil or zero collection. So, Madam Speaker, this report, we should not take it easily, because this is public funds, that is meant to benefit the people of Machakos. For example, in our area, we have those quarries and those big trucks which pollute to our people, innocent people. They just pass there, hundreds of them in daily. They destroy our roads. Only to come and to see that nothing substantial has been collected from those lorries. And Madam Speaker, we are aware that there are cartels. There are some of the lorries that don't pay revenue to the county, and they just give it to individual persons. Madam Speaker, this needs to be investigated, because we cannot keep on letting people collect funds on behalf of the Machakos County Assembly. So, Madam Speaker, this report is I support. I suggest that more need to be recommended. When Madam Speaker, I went through the recommendation, I see just a simple recommendations. Just improve on this, improve on this. But Madam Speaker, there must be some recommendation that the investigations need to be done on those matters. Because some matters does not need an investigation of certain. It's something that we can see with our eyes. We can see revenues, rent being paid. We can see land rates being paid. We can see approvals being paid. But it is not reflecting in this report. So that means there are two channels of collection of the fund. That is very unfortunate, Madam Speaker, for this House to have such a report. So, Madam Speaker, I suggest that the recommendations of this report be upgraded, not just the symbol, check on this, but there should be a recommendation for investigation and the persecution of those who are responsible for those messes being undertaken to our revenue officers. So, Madam Speaker, this is very bitter, because we see and we don't get services because of those finances that get into the pockets of the individuals. So I support the report, and I suggest the committee makes further and they make further recommendations on the same. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. I'd wish to invite the mover to reply and also address some of the issues that have been raised by members. Some of them, I want to highlight them. There was the issue of capacity building. There was also the issue of zero revenue collection that has come out very clearly. There's an issue of automation. What is the model of technology used? And there is the issue of leakages of cash collection from several places. And there is the last issue that has been raised by Honorable Ndwiki concerning cartels and fraudulent activities taking place, and that investigation needs to be undertaken so that we can understand and get to know whether they are culprits. Now, when Honorable Paul, you address those issues, but I also wish to direct that the committee to do a thorough in-depth on the issues raised by the members, especially the one of nil reporting. We all know that when there is nil reporting, even when we are making our returns to KRA, nil reporting is always, it raises eyebrows. So why nil reporting? And we can see activities are taking place, revenue is being collected, even without being told, you know, this is a billboard that has been raised here, there should have been money paid. And then you make a nil reporting. So committee, you'll go back and do a thorough in-depth on this. Honorable Paul, proceed and reply.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, members, for your input in this matter. And welcome, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Kitaka. I wish to ask that you let me finish the task you delegated me to do. So, Madam Speaker, we have been having very tough discussions with the Department of Finance. And I'll start with the issue of NHIF. Previously, the county has not been receiving monies from NHIF, but only yesterday, the CECM assured us that they are going to follow up so that our debtors such as NHIF remit funds to the county. So because we were asking them, our hospitals take the larger share of the labor force in the county. Our hospitals also take a larger share of the budget of the county. And if the greatest consumer of our budget does not contribute to the budget, then it makes the county not able to meet some of its development agendas, because NHIF and the hospitals should be a contributor to the county kitty. The CCM has also assured us that they are working on the people's side of revenue collection, that they'll be doing capacity building, and as we are all aware, they advertise for 435 positions for contract staff who will help map out revenue collection sources within the county, so that we know how many shops are in our county, so that we know how much we expect to collect, so that we set realistic targets. My grandfather usually told me that, and I quote, "Mbese manda wanenge." So the department also intends to spend so that it can also collect more for this county. And Madam Speaker, currently they have procured funds. There is a plan to procure motor vehicles. There is a plan to improve capacity, and all this will include spending. So that at the end of the day, the plan is we collect more. If we collect more, even our wage bill, which is at 58%, that ratio will go down to below the recommended 35. So they will come with proposals so that this house allows them to spend on certain things. And one of those things is automation. And the plan that is there is that for things like approval plans, building approvals, you as the client will be doing the application from the comfort of your house, so you will not interact with the person in the office. Although there will be machine interactions, which will be controlled by them. So you will do your application there, your calculations will be done by that machine, and you will pay automatically.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
That is the proposal.
Madam Speaker, point of order. Mr. Chairman, we are concerned with the collected funds. That is not reported in this report. We are not concerned with how much we are planning to employ more people to collect much. We are concerned with which we know it has been collected and it has not reached. It is not reported in your report. Please, can you clear the nil collection? Not that what you are planning to make more collection. You want the already collected funds, which are not in the record. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, but Honorable Ndwiki, I think you are bringing the cat before the horse. The horse before the cat. The cat before the horse. I was coming to your issue of nil reporting, but I was going systematically down. So on the issue of nil reporting, if you look at the annex attached at the end of the report, you will see how we end up with this nil reporting. And in my report, as I read the report, you heard me talk about something the department has done, which is called merging of our revenue streams. So that, for instance, parking fees will be under, is it bus park? Yeah.
15.
So that some of these revenue streams, which are supposed, as they are supposed to be reported in the Finance Act, have been merged by the department,
It's
so
on
that
page 15,
uh,
merging of revenue streams. Is that?
Yeah.
Page 15.
yeah. So what I'm saying is that we questioned about the nil reporting. It may not be nil reporting per se, but what they have done is, for instance, like just a minute. For instance, on park fees, you'll not see filming and photography fees. But if you look at, it will be called park fees. They have merged it to park fees. But what is the greatest contributor is filming and photography. And that's why in our recommendations, we are saying that the department should not merge revenue streams. They should report them as they are in the Finance, in the Finance Act. So, Honorable Ndwiki, it may not be nil reporting as such, it may not be a nil collection as such, but it's a matter of how the report has been done. As we go for site visits, going forward, we agreed as a department that we will be engaging the services of police force, because what we are engaged in is fighting what Honorable Ndwiki likes to call cartels. But we will not persecute them. We will prosecute whoever we find is guilty. So that will be done. So, Madam Speaker, let me thank my committee members led by our Honorable Chairman, Honorable Kitaka,
Yes.
Honorable Ndeti, Honorable Irene, Honorable Kaviu, Honorable Lloyd, and other members who are not present for the good work they did. And thank this House for the support, as well as our clerks for the support in putting all this together. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. I now put the question that this Honorable House discusses and approves the report of Finance and Revenue Collection Committee on receiver of revenue for the second quarter of financial year 2022-2023 for consideration and adoption. As many are of the opinion, say ayes. As many are of the contrary opinion, say nay. The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, motion, alteration of calendar of the Assembly.
May I invite Honorable Nicholas Nzioka, Leader of Majority, to proceed and move the motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, that aware that the second session of the Third Assembly commenced on 14th February 2023, further aware that pursuant to Standing Order 25, Sub-Order 1, the Assembly approved an Assembly calendar on 14th March 2023 and altered it on 15th March 2023 through a House resolution, and aware that the calendar provides that the House should adjourn for short recess on 3rd May 2023. Acknowledging that Standing Order number 25, Sub-Order 4, provides that despite the adjournment date as scheduled in the approved Assembly calendar, the Assembly may, by resolution, alter its calendar or the adjournment date. Further, where the Standing Order number 151, Sub-Order 6, provides for the mandate of the House Business Committee, which amongst others is to prepare and, if necessary, from time to time adjust the assembly calendar with the approval of the House. Noting that there is need for members to consider nominees committed to various committees for vetting and also interrogate the third generation county integrated development plan 2023 to 2027 and subsequently report to the House, and aware that these two businesses need to be fast-tracked. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move the motion that notwithstanding the resolutions of the Assembly made on 14th March 2023, that is approval of the Assembly calendar, and 15th March 2023, alteration of the Assembly calendar, and pursuant to Standing Order number 25, Sub-Order 4, the Assembly resolves to further alter its calendar, that's regular sessions, for the second session of the third Assembly through adjournment for short recess on Wednesday, 26 April 2023, and resume its regular sitting on Tuesday, 6th June. Sorry, Madam Speaker, I'll take that again. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move the motion that notwithstanding the resolutions of the Assembly made on 14th March 2023, that's approval of Assembly calendar, and 15th March 2023, alteration of Assembly calendar, and pursuant to Standing Order number 25, Sub-Order 4, the Assembly resolves to further alter its calendar, that's the regular sessions, for the second session of the third Assembly to adjourn for short recess on Wednesday, 26 April 2023, in the morning sitting, and resume its regular sitting on Tuesday, 6th June 2023, and that the Assembly calendar, that's regular session, for the second session be altered accordingly. I call upon Mheshimiwa Francis Kitaka to second.
Honorable Francis Kitaka. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. I now propose the question that, notwithstanding the resolutions of the Assembly made on 14th March 2023, in brackets approval of County Assembly calendar, and 15th March 2023, in brackets alterations of Assembly calendar, and pursuant to Standing Order number 25, Sub-Order 4, the Assembly resolves to further alter its calendar regular session for the second session of the third Assembly to adjourn for short recess on Wednesday, 26th April 2023 in the morning sitting, and resume its regular sittings on Tuesday, 6th June 2023, and that the Assembly calendar regular session for the second session be altered accordingly. Before I proceed to debate, may I call the mover to highlight on this issue of adjournment.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we would want, or I request that we move this motion and support it, since we have two important businesses that need to be done, especially that members are congregating here tomorrow on the issues of vetting of nominees for the County Public Service Board, and also some nominees for chief officers. Because of that important aspect, I know many members were not able to come to the House today because of doing background checks and some issues. And also that there is a third generation county integrated development plan that, as all members are aware, will be sending members for retreat in Mombasa to discuss. And we thought that we can adjourn the sitting this morning until the 6th of June. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, honorable member. May I now invite members to debate the motion? Honorable PK, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I stand up to support the motion, bearing in mind that we have been into this house and the schools have been closed, and we need time to go and bond with our children who have been in boarding schools. And so it's also a time that we also need to go and farm, so that now we may avoid these dramas of maandamanos, because sufurias will not reduce the sufurias will not reduce, Madam Speaker, the economic hard times. It won't be reduced by us going to farm and ensuring that we have good food in our farms. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support the motion.
Honorable Kaviu.
Madam Speaker, I support the motion because the task that is ahead of this House, I think the recess will work for the good. It will also give members time, especially for the committees that are having some of the nominees that they are relooking at. And also, I think the appointment committee will also have ample time to review and cross-check the details of the nominees. And also, on 3rd of May, we are also having a national convention for all MCS, Kenya, at KICC. So it will also provide an opportunity for us to get also to attend there to discuss matters of devolution and the role of MCA as an oversight body. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Mike.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I think today I'm very lucky because a lot of people are not around. And we are getting to speak repeatedly. Over, Madam Speaker, as you understand,
I've never denied anyone to speak.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. We know you are among one of the best speakers around, and you are very good to us. I must say, as the Honorable Majority Leader said, that convention is very important, because you understand knowledge is power, and where there is no consultation, sometimes things don't work the way they are supposed to work. So I'm standing here to support the adjustment of the inaugural of the meeting, that is the calendar that we had passed before, and also echo Honorable Kaviu's word, because, Madam Speaker, you understand, it is evident now that members are I'll not say they are not coming to the House, but they are lacking the push. And we know money works magic. So as we go to also to contemplate on the way forward about our welfare, it has come in handy, and I applaud the leadership, because as we congregate in Mombasa, we shall have probably a time also to attend that meeting at KICC. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I now put the question that notwithstanding the resolution of the Assembly made on 14th March 2023, in brackets approval of Assembly calendar, and 15th March 2023, brackets alteration of Assembly calendar, and pursuant to Standing Order number 25-4, the Assembly resolves to further alter its calendar regular sessions for the second session of the Third Assembly to adjourn for short recess on Wednesday, 26th April 2023 in the morning sitting, and resume its regular sittings on Tuesday, 6th June 2023, and that the Assembly calendar regular session for the second session be altered accordingly. As many are of the opinion, say aye. As many are of the contrary opinion, say nay. The ayes have it. The House adjourns to Tuesday, 6th June 2023 at 10 a.m. in the morning. Thank you, members.